intro. Yes, people, welcome back to Brendan Pearson Fitness. Today we're at Martin Nugent Elite Performance Facility in Sunderland with the man himself, Mr. Martin Nugent. It's the first time we've met. We've done a podcast previously, which I'll tag up here, talking about pretty much, well, a lot of similar stuff that we're going to talk about today, but more specifically, this session is going to be to do with off-season. I think Martin's going to put me through some testing.
Yep.
That is the plan, and I haven't done anything like this for a long time. Been retired for a year, so
it's good. We're just going to be very light touch. I think it's a case of we see in the off season, and you know, guys will go off from their clubs or wherever, and you know, they want to look after themselves. But I think what has to be addressed is what state they're currently at, and it's a case of, you know, off season for me is about ironing out, you know, the things that you may have had issues with within the season. If you've had injuries, if you know, areas that you need to feel you're going to need to develop upon, whether it be speed, power, stuff that you don't really get a chance to do because you have such a congested fixture list, and it's a case of that's off season for me. It's not about flogging people into the ground. It's about being really structured. It's about doing sort of your due diligence and checking where they're at before you commence on any strength program or any form of gym program, and whether that be pitch based or within the gym environment itself.
I think a lot of the old school mentality, we were speaking before about off season, the lads just get set, like especially even now, like Strava groups, like did this get set, what, 5k to do a day or 10k to do on a certain day? I
mean, you know, running's it is the big part of the game. That said, you spend your full active season in season running. Your off season is predominantly going to be running. So pre-season is going to be running. Off season, should you be doing a mountain of running? You know, I've worked with a few guys in recent weeks who have been set running plans from clubs, have come in and with the first sort of testing session, right, have you got any issues? Well, actually, I've got lower back pain, I've got knee pain, right, so we have to strip it right back. We have to look at what is causing that. Yes, the running's not going to help. They've just come off the back of probably an intense season, straight into running. Now, we want to keep them sort of ticking over and simmering over, but it's a case of the strength stuff underpins the running, and it can't be sort of ignored. You know.
And this is the time to do it, because in season you're focusing on game to game. That's what you're getting, kind of your main focus is. This is the only time you're ever going to get to work on those imbalances and different things.
Football, unlike other sports, is a long season. You know, in rugby they will have a lot more time off. In athletics they will have a long off season, have an indoor season, but they have a lot of time to work on things. So in football they have a limited window. And it's a simple case of Smithy lad.
Look at this, hang on. This is football, the typical football is this, by the way. This is the crack. He just wants to be on camera, this man. Do you want some camera time, mate? Because you're getting it now.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see it.
This is the typical football. Right, he's not getting any more camera time now. Hey, good crack there.
Right.
Back to the sea.
And we're trail of thought completely going. So speaking about groin strains.
I know. He's looking for a club. Stick his Instagram in the bio if anybody's watching who's serious.
He's still looking.
But off season it is that chance just to iron things out. Like you said, if you've got niggles and you're still trying to run through them, just back. Like, if there's going to be a time to back off from them.
I mean, it's a simple case of you can always even look from a mental recovery perspective as well. So if you've had a tiring season, you've had a lot of games, you maybe have had injuries. Sometimes, you know, I encourage the players in first instance just have a break. It is important. If they want to do something while they're away on holiday, just do something alternative. Just deload the legs, and then what we can do when they come back is let's sit down, we have a discussion how the season go from a physical perspective, what needs work, because I think, you know, what I like to do, I like to talk to the player. I don't want to talk to them like they're dumb. They know their body more than what I will, and more than any coach will. I need to know how they felt about what went well and what didn't go well. Then it's a case of, right, having listened to what they've said, we can then start to do a bit of an investigation, and I'll give that body a full sort of MOT, so to speak. We look at everything from ankle range through to what's going on at the knee, the hip, internal, external rotation, lower backs. If there's anything further up, if you're a goalkeeper, we look at a bit of shoulder health. So we look at that basic structure first before we look at the performance aspect of, right, what's your power output like, what's your velocity like, you know, before we get into the nitty gritty of the strength test itself, because ultimately we need to make sure that they're moving efficiently before we put anything in there. So then we move on to things like what we're going to do with you today is look at some data using force play technology. We're going to use some hamstring technology and see what's going on with yourself. And yes, you haven't played for a while. Will your reactive strength be quite low?
I'll probably still have them imbalances, to be fair.
And that's the thing as well. So I look at a lot of the asymmetries and left to right limb, hamstring to quad. Try and, we never get perfect symmetrical balance, but we're looking at trying to minimise injury first and foremost as S&C guys, and then, right, you want to be faster, you want to be stronger, you want this. It doesn't happen overnight, there's no magic pills, but it's a case of then we can implement once we've got that baseline and of strength and everything taken care of, we can then sort of try and build up on what they feel from a performance perspective they need, and then take it from there, whether that's, so for example, I've had guys in today into the gym, but also we did some pitch work, based work. So we've done some speed prep work in the gym, then went out and did some sled acceleration work. Okay, and it's you know, it's lots of recovery, but high quality movements rather than, right, get up and down that pitch. You know, and the thing with most of the guys who come and visit us, they know they aren't going to get a senseless flogging. They're going to come in here and they're going to go, right, we're going to look at you first before we even do anything. Because, you know, it's like checking the car over. You take F1 car, goes in the pit lane, they're not just going to let it just go back out on the track. They want to check, they want to fine tune it and see where it's at. And you know, you don't get perfection in the weight room, it just doesn't exist. But you know, we can strive to being better, you know, and it's the way I talk to young pros and any young athlete, whether it's football or not, it's an investment in yourself. You want to enjoy your sport more. You'll enjoy your sport more when you've prepped right. Because mentally that'll have an effect on you as well.
I found that was one of the big reasons why I struggled, was the mental side of having niggles and not feeling 100%. If I felt good, I would play good. I was confident in my own body, my ability. But when I had like a little bit, even like a tiny little niggle in my knee or my ankle, I wasn't 100% focused on the game. I was more focused on, right, if I plant my foot so much to the right, my right knee's going to hurt. Like, do I need to change my?
So
like,
to compensate.
And you can't play your game that way. So it's so important.
Ultimately, you're going to get yourself hurt. Especially if you're going to put your body into a position where, you know, being a goalkeeper, you've got to put your body on the line a little bit. If you're going to then sort of hold back, you're probably going to get hurt more. And it's the same with guys, you know, if they're always sitting thinking of, straight away, they're not going to be on it. And, you know, with the off-season's important transition into the pre-season. Because sadly with the younger guys, especially in guys who are sort of first-year pros, they've got to go and impress. There's pressure there to go and impress anybody in around the first team, because they want that next contract. You know, it's about not going in there all guns blazing, it's going in there with the right level, because what you don't want to do, and I've seen it with some players in some clubs, which I'll not name, going, when you've had this COVID issue that we've had, seasons have been cut short. So all of a sudden they've took, in essence, really elongated pre-season, and then what happens is they go running into the next season, they start the performance tails off, and that's got something to do with fatigue, injury, everything that's coming. So it's about sort of pitching it right, you know, and it's, yes, in the modern day game now, running stats are a big thing, monitoring the player. There is some guys in football who, you know, if we take Leeds United, with the previous manager, it's been well documented now that they were overtraining, hence why they ended up in the position they were in. And maybe if he'd have stayed, they might not have stayed up. It got recognised instantly and they got flipped, get the recovery days in, try and get the guys fully recovered, taper down the intensity levels of what they're doing to then improve the performance, because the injuries were starting to mount up, the fatigue was there, you could visibly see it within the players. You know, you can't it's about just getting the balance right. There's no perfect formula, there's no magic formula, there's no perfect coach, there's nothing. It's trial and error. It's looking, you know, if I sat there every single day and went, yeah, I'm just going to stick with what I'm doing, I'm not going to even look at anything else, eventually people will not come here because they'll go, well, it's just the same shit, different day.
Yeah.
And that's what I never wanted to be as a coach. I always try and look at myself as a coach and try and be better than what I was the previous year. Same with me athletes, you know, and try and look at what they have done, how can we make it better? And any team that we might work with, what can you improve upon? It's all well and good saying what we're good at.
Yeah.
But I think that's where your off season has to be key. It could be something technical you need to work on.
Yeah.
Could be something physical, could be something mental, you know, and it's using that time effectively, but also not forgetting to just have downtime.
Yeah,
I think it's important.
That's a big thing.
Recharge.
That's one thing I kind of felt when I was young. I always had to be doing something. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of got to the point where I was injured a lot. Because I was just train. I was instilled from my coaches at the time was get up, have your breakfast, straight out the train. We'll come back in, we'll do your gym stuff, straight out the train again. I was training 3 times a day.
You know, we actively encourage people. We might have recovery weeks. Say, right, I don't want to see you in the gym this week. I want to see you just, you know, go off on a light bike ride, go for a swim. Go and just do nothing. You know, it's some guys struggle because it's been ingrained on them to be like, if you let up, top 2% make it, and they say, well, and if you were overtraining, you're going to go off the other end. So it's just sort of pitching it right to say, because I always think in that off season as well, see it with young children, or end the season now, no, we're just going to play all the way through. When I was a kid, I had the off season, season finished, playing football, I'd go and do cricket, athletics, something else, and then when the football season come, I'm hungry for it.
I was going to say that'll be one of the big things.
Desire, and I haven't got the niggles and the injuries or anything like that. But what I'm also seeing with children, which is quite scary, is there's a lot of injuries that I would have seen in older adults in children now. Kids playing 4 or 5 times a week.
Isn't right, that is it?
Well, and sometimes you'll hear people go, well, they're children, they recover. And I'm like, well, no. A full-time professional athlete who can deal with a higher training load would not do that much. They would. Why did the Premier League, they might play 1 or 2 games a week, if that, for a reason. They've got to get recovered, maximise performance. So for me, you know, it's a key time. It's not a case of going out there and just getting flogged into the ground, doing all sorts of drills or things that are just going to end up creating an injury. It's about, I think, critiquing, fine-tuning, finding things that you really feel you need as an athlete or a footballer, and then working on it. And that's sort of where I think, if you're not testing, you're guessing. And it's as simple as it gets. And not everybody has the luxury of some of the testing equipment we're going to use today, and I appreciate that, but there is ways and means of just putting something in place to say, right, let's look at this logically. And if you've got guys who come in with, say, when you're questioning them, physiologically, how do you feel? Well, actually, you're the first person to answer that in the world. Your back's aching. I've got knees, I've got a bit of Achilles pain. Right, let's look at your biomechanics first before we start doing anything. That's going to be of stress. That data is massively important. What are you doing currently? Well, actually, I'm doing 5k here, 10k there. My first question is why? It's the off season. You know, you're going to have plenty of time in the pre-season to get the old running shoes on and get the work done, because that is sadly how it is. It plays out, you know, so.
We'll jump into some testing anyway, but that's a good little conversation. We'll probably speak a little bit at the end, but
hopefully you're not asleep. You won't be from.
Hey, all the people who care will be listening. The 2 people who care will be listening anyway. What we're starting off with anyway, testing wise.
We're going to look at. We're going to take you through some force plate work, and then I'm going to take you through the hamstring solo, so the Hawkins dynamics. So we'll take a few minutes to sort of set that up, get that ready, and we'll perform a few tests, and I'll talk through what we're doing and what the data looks like.
See what hamstrings I've got left. See if I've got any.